Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of City Ringside. This is episode number 250, bro. Episode number 250, man. That's freaking
250 episodes, bro.
insane,
That's
dude.
insane. Absolutely wild.
Dude, that's like, that is wild, bro. That is very wild. Guys, how was your week so far?
It's been busy, bro. Been busy. I spent all last week moving from my old office to the new one, being told, hey, we're going to help you out. And no one helped me out, bro. So I had to move a whole office space and mount TVs and cameras and do everything by myself, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But it is what it is, bro. That's why I get paid good and I get to do whatever the hell I want. Now I'm over here in beautiful San Antonio. I spent the morning in Corpus Christi at the aquarium with the kids, and tomorrow we're going to a museum. I'm going to pop fireworks. Going to do the whole
Hell
4th of
yeah.
July celebration out here at the in-laws.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, man. And for you,
I'm
Mark?
drinking a beer, bro. I haven't drank a beer in forever, and
Damn.
that's a Shiner Light.
Today.
Right on, right
Family
on.
stuff.
Well, guys, we have an awesome show tonight, man. Like I said, this is episode number 250. As always, I am Robert V. And with me, Mark Miller and Rudy Lara. We have an awesome show. We are going to recap UFC 317. What a banger of a card. And also, we have a returning guest, Mr. Bear Fiorda. We're going to be talking to him about what's going on. So the last time we talked to him, he's got a lot of cool stuff, man. So let's run through everything real quick because he is going to be jumping on here pretty soon. Quick shout out to HKA USA. Go to hkausa.com. Show your support as they show support to us. Also to UFC Fight Club, Press Sports, Millions.co, Elite Sports, Born Tough, John Tyler. I'm running through these because we got a lot to talk about. John Tyler's Underwear. Use our discount code with him. It is 20% off. It's Fight Book. Also, our friends over there at Fogtown Fuel. Use our discount code FBMMA. And go check out our friends over there at Focal Bobbleheads. They make the best bobbleheads on the planet, in my opinion. Also, our friends over there at Hayabusa and RDX. And quick shout out to the promotions that we work with very closely: Brave Combat Federation, XFN, PFL, Fight World MMA, BKB, Octagon MMA, and CES MMA and CES Boxing. Rudy, I know you got some stuff to plug as well.
Alex Jones store. They're still doing they actually have a 4th of July sale right now. So go get the methylene blue, buy one, get one free. They have a whole bunch of other products on sale. And our favorite Alp nicotine pouches. Lots of people love this. People keep buying them, keep using our code, keep getting that discount. Helps us out, and it helps you out because you're saving money and you're getting the best high quality nicotine pouches money can buy. That's a fact. And also bit funded. If you're into prop trading, you want to learn how to leverage trade, this is the way to go. You're using other people's money. $79 will get you a $5,000 account, $5,000 of someone else's money to use. You pass 2 level challenges and you keep 90% of the money that you make. I mean, who doesn't like free money? But use our code. That helps us out a lot as well. Get the show rolling, man.
Stick. All right, let's go ahead and plug the upcoming events that are happening this weekend. I love that. I love it when we do that. Not a lot of happening this weekend. We do have our favorite promotion, One Championship. We have one Friday Fights 115 tomorrow morning. I will have the live results and the live stream at fightbookmma.com. Also, we have PFL Mina 2 in Riyadh 2025. And then on Saturday,
And wait,
PF,
where'd you say it was? It's in
right?
Riyadh.
Riyadh, Riyadh.
Riyadh.
I don't know, man.
PFL Europe
I'm
2 in
fucking
Riyadh.
Mexican. And then we have PFL Europe 2 in Brussels. Dude, they're like going from one country to another, man.
And
It's fucking
ACA
nuts.
189.
Yeah, we got all those little ones. You want to go, if you want to see the rest, what's happening, go to Tapology. You'll see
LFA
all those.
212. Taylor versus
No, that's
Serrano
not till
3.
next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's all we're having, man. And then
Oh,
in the
yeah. You know what that
boxing,
is next week? There's
it,
nothing.
that's why I said those are the only three that's happening this weekend. And then for the boxing and bare knuckle event, we have in Manchester, England, live on this zone, Jack called Catterall. I guess that's how you say his last name, versus Harlem Eubank. And then we have BKB 43 on Saturday. And that's all we got going on, man. It is 4th of July weekend. A lot of people are going to be celebrating, fishing, camping, hiking, hanging out with the family, lighting up those fireworks. So
You
it's
know
going to
what
be
we're going to be doing, bro? I want to give a special shout out to everybody who's going to be celebrating the 4th of July. This is how we do it, baby.
America, America.
except for you, Canadian.
I had my day on Tuesday. I had my shit Tuesday. I'm good. How's your day?
Oh, happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada
Right?
Day.
Happy Canada Day. Hey. Suck on my
One of the
balls.
funniest songs ever, though. I'm not gonna lie. It
That's one of
actually
the best
hypes me
movies
up.
ever.
Well, if you're not tweeting and reporting and checking it out, you have no excuse to not watch all these fights, man. Because there's only 6 events, 5 events
Yeah,
happening this weekend.
you got to watch every single second of every single round
Yeah.
of every single fight, every single night. Because if you don't,
Just
all my friends, you're just not a real fight fan.
you're not a real fight fan. You suck.
Not a real
All right,
fight fan.
man. You're not. You're not a real fight fan, bro. 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 We had UFC 317, bro. The King of Kings sitting in his throne, holding 2 belts, bro. Holding 2 fucking belts. Remember what I said? That power is going to follow him, and it's going to get even better. And it did. He moved up the weight. Bam.
Well,
That power was right there, bro. So
I mean,
let's run
we
through it
could,
before Bear jumps on, man.
yeah, that's what I was
Um,
gonna say. Let's run through it real quick. We started off the night UFC 317 with Jonata Denise versus Alvin Hines. Alvin Hines gave him pretty much all he got. It was a banger fight, bro. I was
That was
rooting
a
for
banger
Hines,
fight.
but I kind
to
of knew
start off the
Jonata
night,
was gonna win. Yeah, it was a good fight, man. Alvin Hines, that dude has no quit in him. Great fight, man. Next fight up was Nico Price and Jacoby Smith.
mm,
Man, Nico gave him a run for his money for a minute, and then
Right.
Jacoby subbed his ass. It was pretty ugly.
mhm, mhm.
I was rooting for Nico, man. I was rooting for a lot of the dogs, but I knew Jacoby was going to win. And man, that dude's a real deal, man. He had a real tough test with Nico, so I'd like
Mhm.
to see what the UFC has matched up for him next. Then we go to Terrence McKinney, bro. Vyacheslav Borshev subs him in the first 55 seconds of the round. Well, was it 55 seconds? I think it was
I think so.
55 on the round. It was a couple of minutes, bro, and he just made it look easy. He made it look so easy, subbed him out. He should have won a bonus. Viviani Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. I was going for Viviani,
Bro, me too,
but
man.
Tracy, bro, she came out and just absolutely destroyed Viviani. It was a beautiful thing to watch because the
Mm.
cameraman had some great angles there, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Then we get Hyder
It's a
Emil
dork.
versus Jose Miguel Delgado. A lot of people were rooting for Emil. I didn't really care who won this fight. When I saw the face-offs, I was like, bro, there's no way Josel's gonna just beat the hell out of this guy. He was like 4 inches tall. He was a lot taller, bro. A lot longer. I just knew he was gonna finish him. Jack Hermansson's Gregory
Oh my
Rodriguez.
God, bro.
Bro, I pick flipped on this one. I don't know why. I was just like, oh, Jack looks ready. He looks ready, but he was not ready.
he wasn't
not
ready.
bro. He wasn't
He
ready.
was not ready at all for that.
Dude,
He got
RoboCop,
smoked.
bro. And then that last rep, that it was not a necessary blow, man. At the very end, he should have just walked
super
away.
necessary. No. I mean,
It was super necessary.
from
right.
from a fighter's perspective, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to stop until somebody stops me.
Exactly.
Until the ref said.
The ref stops
but from a human perspective, it's like, bro, you just knock this dude out cold, and you're just gonna smash him again. And I think it happened again later on in the night. But he won performance of the night, rightfully so. Barack Obama, he's on steroids. And then we got Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima. I was going for Lima, but Peyton, man, showed out, won the unanimous decision. He was actually the underdog on this one, plus 150 underdog, and yeah, he made a lot of people some money. Very little. Benil Dariush, Renato Moicano, man, I was going for Renato, and Benil edged out a win. Yeah, bro, it just, I don't know, man. He wasn't pulling the trigger. He decided to pull the trigger in the final round. It's like, bro, why did you wait? Why did you wait till? I don't know, man. I don't know what was going through the dude's head. It was just, I didn't like that fight, man, at all. Brandon Royval, Joshua Van, fight of the night, bro.
What a fucking war.
This is what you call a slobber knocker, banger,
dude,
back and forth fight.
Damn, bro. Like
that pace. Holy shit.
Dude, the pace throughout the whole entire rounds, bro, was just insane.
And I thought that Brandon was going to win this because, it's like more experience. Joshua hasn't fought a fighter of this caliber. Royval's only lost to champs, bro. And I thought he had it in the bag. It was a close fight. But Joshua, man, that dude, I can't wait to see what's next for him. He's going to fight for the belt next. The face-off was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it was.
Pantoja and Kai Kara France subbed them in the third round. This is a beautiful fight. Like I said, at the end of the fight, they brought Joshua Van in, and they faced off the center of the cage. Nothing but respect. I can't wait to see that fight. Then we get to the main event: Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Ilia made it look so fucking easy. Charles, with his signature, let me come in and let you hit me in the face. That was just a bad idea, bro. Bad idea. He tried to pull guard several times. It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I was like, dude, there's no way. And then he just got slumped. I mean, literally slumped. He got slumped, and then he got pounded a couple of times. It seemed unnecessary, but it's super necessary.
Hey, you know what? Super necessary.
And my heart hurt for him because I love Charlie O. I think the whole crowd was rooting for Charlie O.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Ilia's a real deal, bro. This dude is a badass, bro. He is legit a badass. He's knocked out the greats, bro. Knocked them all out. Can't wait to see what's next for him.
It was amazing, bro.
They brought Paddy Pimblett into the arena to face him off.
Paddy's already got an opponent scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dana White said, I don't know why they did that. And
because
I
Joe Rogan, dude.
Because he already had an opponent.
Dana White got pissed off because Joe Rogan said, hey, why don't you come into the cage? Like, he's doing this matchmaking, bro. Joe Rogan has no reason to be doing that shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have our guest joining us now.
Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, yeah. Did I fix my orientation? Am I too high?
There we go. There we go.
That makes more sense. What was that? Backtrack was awesome. What a great way to intro somebody, man. Thank you.
Dude,
what's going on, dude?
I'm tired. I just got done running around. I have lower back pain in my mid-20s. None of this makes sense.
I have lower back pain in my mid-40s.
Same here.
Well, for everybody that's watching and or listening, I want to welcome our returning guest. It's been 2 years since April, bro, since you were on our show. Mr. Jared Bear Fiorda. Bro, welcome back, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Really, 2 years doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I know, man, but it has. April 20th is when you were
April
on our
20th.
show.
Man,
420.
time flies. Time.
420. That's why you don't remember, Ben.
Oh man, too much smoke.
There you
Um,
go. Ben,
I just as I
it's
popped
been
on, I saw
two.
you guys were discussing the Charles Oliveira and
Yes,
Ila
yes, yes. What are
Topuria
your thoughts on that, my
fight.
friend?
I feel like I'm part of a large majority that had high hopes for Charles and was maybe not disappointed that the loss happened, but I'm disappointed that it didn't even look competitive. He had a
Yep.
good he had a good shot, got in on the double unders and kind of flubbed the takedown there at the end, landed in the guard position. Not bad for Charles. Olive is pretty good at that, but on the feet, wow, I don't know what the game plan was. It kind of just I don't know if they wanted him to put pressure on Taporia, like thinking his power wouldn't translate. But
That's exactly it.
if it was to pressure him and then like throw some shots, fake a couple of takedowns, then go for a real one, that makes sense to me. There's a technique my coach uses that we call the Clay Guida, which is you go for one real takedown and then following that it's you fake takedown, come up, tap, tap.
Mm,
Then you
Yep.
go for another takedown, but you break off halfway between that takedown, tap, tap, and then you go for the real one. That kind of chain wrestling strategy makes
Right.
sense for me in the cage. But standing in front of Topuria does not make sense to me in the cage. I'm sorry. I'm 50 pounds heavier than that guy, and I wouldn't want him to touch me.
He got slumped, man. It was hard to watch, and I don't know, man. A lot of people, the entire arena was rooting for Charlie O, and I think they were just stunned with watching that. It was brutal, but man, you can't deny this guy. You can't deny this man anymore.
no.
No. Everyone makes excuses, especially online, for when your favorite guy wins or least favorite guy, whatever it is. But I can see the comment section. Taporia is not going to be able to stack up the Charles. He's too big. He's got the height on him, and then he wins. And it's like, oh, Charles never had a chance. Look at that chin. He got dropped by hit this, that, and the other guy. It just switches back and forth so much.
Well, dude, like on the last week when we had our show, we were breaking down this event, and I was telling the guys, I was like, you know what, man, I know a lot of people are talking down on Ilya because he's moving up in weight, and people are gonna say, oh, well, the powers he's not gonna have enough. I was like, hell no, bro. That power is gonna chase him. It's gonna follow him, and it's gonna be a lot more powerful because he's moving up a weight. He's not cutting so much weight to where he normally fights. So
No.
it was a thing of beauty the way he landed that shot, man.
That guy's got to be one of the most technical boxers we've seen
Mhm.
in the cage. I mean, I would say Dustin Poirier comes right after him. Max Holloway would probably be somewhere in the top five there, but Ilia Topuria really just I could throw him into a ring and feel like I get similar results than if I threw him in the cage, as at least as far as his hands go. But yeah, I agree with you
Mhm.
completely. That weight at some point, I feel like because it wouldn't be his natural frame to fight like an 85, even though he walks
Mm.
close to 85. At some point, it might dissipate a little bit when you got the bigger bodies, weight bullies coming down from the 200s, 210s. But no, for sure, even 170-pounders, he'd still be dropping them. I'm certain of it.
The
Mhm.
only guy that gave him any competitive was Josh Emmett. I think
Yeah.
that fight was insane, man. I rewatched it just the other day. I was like, bro, Josh Emmett, that dude is a motherfucker, bro. He took everything Ilya gave him, man. That was a great fight.
Yeah, no, that was a really good fight. And Josh Emmett reminds me of I don't know if he ever secured a belt in the UFC, but he reminds me a lot of Robert Whitaker, where it's like that guy's a
Mhm.
Right.
gatekeeper. That guy's a gatekeeper.
Yep.
You'll make your way to the top and then have to deal with him before you move on. And
Yep.
he's earned his place. And in my opinion, when he retires the UFC Hall of Fame, he's fought some of the best in the world. And clearly we can see that he's still giving it to them as they're coming up in the ranks. Um, I'm just kind of sad to see that he never got uh, quite there,
Mhm.
And I don't think he's done yet. But as fighters get older, of course, new generations come up, new blood comes in, they start getting aged out.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw the tweet that Connor did right after he said, "Thank you for warming up my belt" or something like that.
But
I was
not
like,
even a
bro,
competition, bro.
you didn't even freaking defend those belts, and how are you saying thank you for keeping my belts warm?
Hey, he wouldn't even fight Chandler. I don't know what he's thinking is coming
Right?
up with this.
He'll get slumped
Oh
too.
man. Oh yeah. Dude, if Ilya fights Connor, bro, that's it. It's done.
But I'll say this though: if I was Ila Taporia, I would take that fight in a heartbeat because
Oh yeah.
the amount of money is astronomical compared to what I'm making right. Even if I was making seven figures right now, a fight as Ila Taporia, I would. That's going up to eight figures immediately for Conor
That
McGregor. It's
fight that
not
fight
even
makes the
close.
most sense, to be honest, because all he's done is kill legends, and what bigger legend, biggest money maker would be Conor McGregor, dude.
Right?
It would be though. It would. That's 100% right. Killing legends is a good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
Seriously,
That should be his nickname, the Legend Killer, bro. Randy
he's
Orton.
dashing people's hopes and dreams.
Well, I mean, isn't his nickname El Matador?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So there you go, the killer. I
That's a
mean, we're
very good
kind of
point.
there.
Yeah,
We're kind of there.
we're very close to there.
Yeah, right. Bear, it's been 2 years, man. I know a lot of things happened from the last time we talked to you until now.
Mhm.
Your social media has blown up to the nth infinity. I think you've been putting out some funny ass content, bro.
Thank you.
It's just amazing what you're doing, and then you have your nonprofit that you're working with too, and I know you've had some legends. Our friend Sam Alvey.
Yeah. And if you don't know, folks, on TikTok, he has over 1.2 million subscribers, 306,000 on Instagram, 195,000 on Snapchat, 119 on Facebook, over 20,000 on YouTube. And that's probably old. There's probably even more now.
Um, there is a little bit more now, and funny
Yeah.
enough, my secondary page is called Free MMA Gyms. It takes the same content, but it's meant to support my nonprofits we discussed a moment ago. That one's on YouTube, and that beats out all of the places I had. It's like 260 something thousand
Damn.
subscribers, but that makes a huge difference. And this is where we're going to jump a little bit from like fighting to social media for a second, because
Mhm.
as a competitor, these numbers are great for me in so many different ways. One, there's opportunity. If I can show a company that can put butts in seats when I fight, they're going to want to bring me on a lot faster than someone who can't sell a fight or make a performance out of it, because that's what we are at the end of the day. We're entertainers. Even if it's
Right.
blood sport, it's still a sport, still for fun for the viewer. But then also all that stuff makes secondary income. It makes a secondary lifestyle. And so I have the ability to travel and train every single day. I usually would spend 5 to 8 hours a day training most days of the week because I have the opportunity to. And God bless the people. Seriously, the people who are working their 9 to 5s, they're working their construction jobs, they're working their Amazon tour. I say tours, but their Amazon drives for like
Mhm.
9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day, and then going to MMA training. Those guys are the real those are the guys who are going to make it to the absolute UFC stardom, because they're working their fingers to the bone and making a living one way while trying to support their fighting. But if I convince more people to get on social media, it makes that lifestyle easier. You can dedicate more time to the training when you have something to support yourself. And then on top
Yeah.
of that, it supports my nonprofit, which lets me train people for free. I teach people martial arts and self-defense at no cost at Free MMA, and I want to build a lot more of them. So I got to continue to find ways to create that revenue and create more so a voice, attention to get on the gym and have more opportunities built that way.
So is that the whole reason, or what? Let me rephrase that. What is the reason why you started this nonprofit and this free training, and do it at no cost? I mean, are you focusing more on the less fortunate, or is it to get the kids off the streets? I mean, what was the idea behind all this?
When I grew up in Desert Hot Springs, California, it's not the worst place you can grow up with, but it's not the best. It had its own fair share of smaller gangs and drug activity. And going in martial arts, because I was having some anger management problems from losing my dad when I was really young, I found that it kind of rectified a lot of those emotional difficulties. Occasionally still have stress, occasionally still have world anxiety, whatever you deal with on a regular basis. But the large majority, mainly an attitude check on me as a
Yep.
young person, came through martial arts and being humble and having structure. And so I know that my mother worked really hard, working 2 jobs at a time, to keep me in that. When it would have been so much easier to say, no, we're gonna stop paying the $100 a month or whatever it was a month. We're gonna focus on just what we need for our necessities. So I'm not working 2 jobs and working hard during the recession. But my friends and teammates who couldn't do that, didn't have that same opportunity, their parents could no longer afford that plus gas, electricity, food, whatever it might be. When they dropped out, they got into those gangs, they got into those drugs. And I kind of believe that if they had not had to stop training, that structure would have impacted them a lot further. They would have gone into life feeling probably mentally stronger, be able to stay away from that negativity.
Right.
And I know that doesn't exist for a lot of people. I know it's very expensive. Martial arts gyms, especially an MMA gym that offers multiple styles, can run you 180, $200 a month. And that's if you take your yearly contract, which usually
Yep.
knocks some of the price off, versus if you
Yep.
go month to month, like 250 or
Mhm.
whatever. It's a lot. But if I can give it to you for free and still give you those benefits and tell you, if you want to donate, cool, mainly bring waters for the kids, and I will take care of all the finances. I'll get the sponsors on. We'll take care of all that just to give you and your child a place to train and blow off steam. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to
Mm.
provide people the same opportunity that my mother worked so hard to give me. And she's actually who I went into business with. We both own free MMA. She was a accountant and bookkeeper for so many years, and I hit people, so I'm not great with money. She takes care of that stuff. He keeps the doors open. I just the face.
There you go. You know what, man? I think that's something that I wish I had growing up. It was, my parents did send me out to karate class, like any other kid would want to learn karate. Um, MMA was not really a big thing back
Right.
then. It was more, karate. So I think I only lasted maybe 2 months, and then my dad got laid off. Just just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Um, but if there was something like that, well, I was growing up, I wouldn't have gotten in so much trouble. And while growing up, I believe that something like that would help. Like what you're doing is helping these kids, not get into trouble and blow off steam in the school, like like something like yours, man. And I think that's really cool, man. I love that that you're doing that. I do hope that it does grow into the other states, or to other cities that really need it.
That's the goal. I my original take was I wanted to put one in every state and then one in every country, and
Mm,
that really is still the outline of what I'm looking to do here. I want to put it in as many places as I possibly can. That's what I'm hoping for at the end of the day, and I want it to outlast me. So I want to pass on knowing that, oh, I've got 45 gyms across the world and more people working doing the good work and putting more out there.
that's amazing, man. So we have a friend, mutual friend, me and Rudy, and his name is Arlo Jumper. He's a boxing coach, and that's what he's wanting to do out there in Oklahoma for the tribe out there. He is going to open a boxing gym and help these kids that that don't have the money. And he focuses more on like the boxing, not so much MMA, but in boxing
Mhm.
and in mental health. So because mental health is it's something serious, and that's what he focuses on a lot. So that reminded me of what you're doing, with your gym. So that's
Of
amazing.
course. No, it is, and good on him. It's not easy. It's tough to go out there and find sponsors. It's tough to go out there and find people who have interest. And something I noticed as well is I made it a free program. And one thing I've thought about throughout the years, I'm probably not going to change it because I've already dedicated it to this concept. But people don't tend to stick with the program; they don't pay for it all. And those who do are like the most dedicated kids and adults you'll ever find, but people tend to want to stay invested in something that they put money in. So I
Right.
know a lot of other nonprofits around there would do like, oh, it's $10 a month, something to keep the people invested in showing up.
Mm,
And I think anyone who starts a nonprofit similar to what we're trying to do here who's willing to put it a price that low or go all the way like I'm doing, make it completely zero. They're doing such an amazing job providing for those who really couldn't afford it anyways. And just giving those people an opportunity really to have a place, as we said, to blow off steam, deal with mental health problems, or at least have some assistance in that if they're going through other types of treatment. It's amazing to think about what miracles hitting a bag could really do for somebody who's
Mm.
just
Right.
stressed out in life. And so to provide that to them at a low cost to no cost is just incredible to me.
And
And
yeah,
I bet you
I
a lot
think
of those. Oh, go ahead, Rudy.
I was going to say a lot of mental health issues, and a lot of it just boils down to, getting some exercise. A lot of people don't do that. They just want to take a quick pill. Doctors just prescribe, here,
Yeah.
take these, and really all you need to do is get some exercise, man. Eat right, get your body in tune, and you'd be surprised how much better mentally you are just by blowing off some steam, like you said, man. Makes a huge difference.
It does. Get some sunshine in there too. Don't stay in your house all day long.
Yeah.
We especially in the more I noticed that in like a post-pandemic world, there's a lot more home run businesses where people just kind of work behind the screen inside their own house. And good on them. That's a great thing to do, go into business for yourself. But if you're not getting out, if you're not interacting with your social circle, if you're not doing some kind of exercise, you're not doing anything that benefits you physically, you just kind of start feeling depressed, start falling
Yep.
into this hole, this rut. And so, no matter what you're doing, I agree you need to get out and be physically active in some way, shape, or form, even if it's going out and like having a couple of drinks with your buddies, going out and having a fun night dancing or whatever it is. Just go out and be physically active and meet
Right.
and interact with your friends. It really can boost the spirits up, and punch them with consent, and punch them with consent. Go to There's places for it.
Don't just get some gloves and then just say, "Hey, let's go to the backyard."
Yes, yes. You start learn it
Sign up.
firsthand if you need to.
Oh man. So I'm sure that your kids, and whoever's there at these gyms, when you get somebody like Sam Alvey
Yeah.
go, I bet you it's just something that these kids are like, holy shit,
You
this
know,
guy's a UFC fighter. I see him on TV. And he is
really,
such
yeah.
a funny dude, man. We've had Sam on our show a bunch of times, and what a character. What a character.
Oh, he's the best. And I wish I could. I sometimes I wish it was a character, an image he created, because he's just so much more charismatic than everyone
Right.
else. It's a little bit of a jealousy creeps in. Like, why the fuck do you? I'm sorry. Can I curse?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like, why the fuck are you always smiling at everybody? Why are you so happy, man? Today sucks. Sometimes it's bad, but he's always happy, enjoying himself, and he makes the best out of everything. I watched him come back. He came back from winning his first karate combat belt against
Mm.
Ross Levine like a year and a half ago, and this dude is limping because he took so many calf kicks he can't put weight down on his lead leg anymore, and he's just smiling and happy. He's still touting about how leg kicks don't hurt, but he's happy
Oh,
as can be.
whatever.
Yeah, I know. The closest I ever got him to admitting that they actually hurt was this last fight where he got the two belts from Karate Combat
Mm.
against Tyrone Spong. He got the drop on that guy, really. He got out of his head faster than Tyrone did, laid in some good combinations, landed a big left hand, took him out. But the one leg kick he took, Sam said after the fact, if he hit me with two, I was falling over. I would not have been able
Oh,
to stand
man.
up. And then I asked him,
What's
"Oh, so leg
Tyrone?
kicks hurt?" And he's like, "It didn't hurt, just made me a little numb." He's limping to the restaurant after the fight.
Oh,
He'll
my
never
God.
admit it. He'll never admit it.
No. You know what, Rudy? Next time we have him on, I'm going to ask him that real quick. Hey, do leg
He's
kicks
hilarious,
hurt?
bro.
Oh, he's gonna make up some. He's gonna make up something on the spot.
I heard from a little birdie that we had on the show on episode 250.
He'll never
From a,
admit it, bro. He'll never admit it.
heard from a valid source. He'll call it
Valid
fake news.
source. Oh my God.
No, he's a great guy though. Really, I chat with him almost on a daily basis. He sends me a lot of the videos I end up turning into content, by the way, because he sees people do ridiculous shit all the time, and then he's just like, I know a guy who will do something with this, and he sends it off to me. Like today, he sent me a video. It looks like it's a gym in the Middle East, and there's women training there, and they're wearing. They're either doing full covering or partial coverings, like just like the forehead and down.
The
And this
jihad.
and this
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and this guy is just like laying in body shots. He's like two body
Oh,
shots, one
nice.
woman, one big body shot, another woman, and they're just like a factory line, just running down, turning to face him, get nabbed, and keep running away. And it goes on for 30 seconds of just like how many women do you have in the gym, first of all, and then why are they all willing to
Get punched.
just get punched in the liver repeatedly? They're seeing the other women like double over after the fact, and they're still thinking, I'm doing it. And but those are kind of like the more yeah, McDojo-y, like cultish
Yeah,
kind of
McDojo.
yeah.
Bro, Sam is literally like the nicest person I've ever met, man.
He is.
He's
He
super
is.
nice.
You won't find so, and he put it best. He will be your friend before the fight. He'll be your friend after the fight, but for 15 to 25 minutes, he's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And but he means that with every bit of with everything. He has no animosity towards you before or after the fight, but he has to turn it on for that little bit of time. But anyone who went try to get a beer with him after the fact, he'd do it. He wouldn't. He's good. He's game. He has no reason to hate you. He loves fighting his friends. If he could have fought Sean Strickland in the UFC, he would have. Because it's like, why wouldn't I want my friend to make money too? This is great.
Right.
We already fight each other anyways.
Hey, he's got a point.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that till then.
He's got a point. Dude, that would have if that would have happened. Could you imagine the face-off? That would be one hilarious face-off.
I think that they're both so good at what they do on the microphone that we would have had one of the best
Yes.
verbal back and forths ever. Absolutely. And they know each other. They train with for years. So they have a lot of history. We'd get some weird like lore about Sean Strickland from 7.5 years ago that no one heard about or whatever. And surely some back and forth there. But really, those Sam's just a one of a kind guy, and I couldn't ask for a better training partner whenever we get together because he really pushes me. He's great. Counter to a lot of his fight tactics, which tend to be moving on the feet and circling, he's a very good pressure fighter. He loves to get in your face, and he's very good at it. So he's a very good training partner and a very good friend.
You know who does a good impersonation of Sean Strickland?
Oh, who?
No, I can't do that right now. I'm not going to do it right now, Roberto. I'm not doing it.
Dude, you got the guttural in there. You got some good grit in your voice. That's exactly what Sean sounds like. Sean constantly sounds like he could have been a hard rock lead singer, but decided instead he's wanted to keep having bar fights and found a way to do it for money.
He sounds like he's been smoking 40 packs a day for like the last 50 years.
Poor Sean.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
And then you look, but here's the thing though, too. I like seeing his random appearances in just different places. A video surfaced recently where he's just at a Walmart looking for this some type of box, and this not even a fan of his, a fan's girlfriend found him and he made a video for that guy, which is really cool. Some people think Sean's just kind of this giant asshole, but I met him in person about 2 years ago, probably April. So it would have been just after we did this. I met him in person at Extreme Couture, and sorry being sidetracked, but I walked past him, and as I'm walking past him, thinking to myself, oh shit, it's Sean Strickland. I'm kind of a big guy, but I don't want him to fight me, so I'm gonna just get out of his way. So I'm walking as he's walking past, I step to the side. I think I'm being respectful, and he looks and then walks and stops and looks again. He's like, how much do you weigh? That's his first concern. Now, are you good, man? How much do you weigh? And I'm like, I fight at 170 pounds. All right. What's your record? And I'm like, it's kind of shit. He starts laughing, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I appreciate that. He told me he appreciates that more than the guys who walk in and say that they're undefeated, because it's like they're undefeated, but they're 1-0. And so he likes to hit those guys. But I ended up getting a photo with him, and we're having a good time. He ran back a couple different times to tell me like little things. One of them was, hey, are you sparring today? Yes, I'm sparring today. Good. Do it with this guy. He's a pussy. And then just like takes off again. Just little life information from Sean, then leaves. And then at one point, Sam finds out, speaking of Sam, finds out I'm there with him. And so he texts Sean. He's like, hey, it was a really good move for you not to spar with Bear because he would have fucked you up. And then he texts me and he texts me to run. And I'm like, what am I running for?
Takes you to run.
And then sure as shit, him and my girlfriend Summer came back and told me what he wrote to him. Like, oh, thank you for not trying to fight. It's fantastic of you to be so patient with me at your gym. Don't hurt me.
Bro, Sean looks like Sean Thicklin now. He's putting on some weight,
Yeah.
man.
It's and it doesn't impact him the same way a lot of people
No.
do. When I go from 195, which is my usual walk around weight, like I'm heavy right now at 220, and it sits on me like you would think an extra 30 pounds sits on, dude. It's all in the belly and lower back. Sean has gone from 185 to easily 225, 230. I think that's
Yeah.
easy weight on him. And he just looks like he put on more muscle. He just looks like a bigger version of his 185 self.
Mhm.
Did you see him this past weekend?
No, I didn't.
Look, let me show you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Chris Curtis attacked a fighter
Oh, I did
that
see
beat
that.
one of
I
their
saw that
guys.
part.
Check it out. In case people haven't seen it.
I did a reaction to this. It's going to be up tomorrow. Yep.
Here comes Sean Thicklin. He's throwing punches, bro.
Yeah, punched him in the head. And then after the fact, he's like, oh, yeah, I guess I expected Sean to hit me hard. UFC call me up. I can take it. Um,
Nah.
I did this part of my video tomorrow when I talked about it was, the rules are in place for a reason. Rules exist, but they exist as long as you want to follow them. The
Right.
rules are, hey, if you're not the fighter, you can't step into the cage. And if you step into the cage as a cornerman, like obviously outside of the fight and you're interacting with the other person in a negative manner, you're going to get booted. They're going to kick you out. But
Yeah.
you got to take into effect some other things. It's Sean Strickland. There's very few people who could kick him out anyways. He's already known for kind of having a short temper. It's not a negative, it's who he is. And you just not only choked out his fighter, you told him
Talk shit.
you basically just humped the air to his face. You did the whole
Yeah.
DX thing from back in
Right.
WWE.
Okay.
So I understand that you just won your fight. You feel hyped up. You think you can take on the world. You can't. Don't be stupid. And that's just kind of one of those lessons right there. Of the don't. Sure, the bull is in theory not supposed to stab you if you're in the audience, but if you start making a bunch of noise, hooting, hollering, and shaking your butt on the side of the fence, it might come and stab you. I don't
Oh,
just
yeah.
I've
keep these
seen it.
things in mind.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's wild.
You'll get a colonoscopy that you didn't sign up for.
Like Sean
You got-
Thicklin.
You gotta
That's his
start
new
posting
nickname.
it. Is that out there? I wish to hell I put that name in the video. If I have a second to put that in after the fact, I'm going to, and I'll quote you
Hey,
for
if
that.
you use it,
started
you better
calling
credit us.
I've been calling
get
him that for
credit,
the past couple of
absolutely.
months. I saw him. I was like, bro, he's not Sean Strickland anymore. He's Sean Thicklin. Did you see how much weight he's gained?
Sean Thicklin. Do you think he would? I want him on this podcast to hear you say that and get his opinion on it. I really do.
Dude, if we could get him on the show, dude, that'd be fucking amazing.
This interview's over, all right? Don't be making fun of my weight. I'm sensitive about it, all right?
That's like WWE Sean.
I know, right?
That's like Sean's best impression of Hulk Hogan.
Oh my god, that is amazing. Oh, dude. So what else is going on, man? What else you got going on other than blowing up on social media and running this nonprofit?
Well, I haven't fought in the cage in about 2 years, so that's gonna be changing in November. We're gonna do something called the Pan Ams, and it's basically going
Nice.
down to if you don't know, it's a big kind of tournament style event where they do have some. I think it's like mainly a jiu-jitsu thing, but they also started integrating cage fighting into it too. And it's going to be several different countries this year coming down to Mexico City, and we're going to
Oh,
have like a 5-day tournament of fighting. I'm going to be in a bracket. Every win pushes me up. If I lose, I have an opportunity to fight the following day against someone who also have taken a loss and chances to push myself up again and stay in the win, stay in the loop. The only thing that has me slightly worried about it is it's 5 days of making weight. You cannot jump up. And you can't weigh in one day and then be like 20 pounds heavier for the next
oh
4.
shit.
You have to weigh in the same weight every day. My bracket is 195. Now, the benefit here is I can walk at 95 and be happy. I know some of these guys are going to show up there and cut 10 pounds every single day. So those are
Fuck
the guys
no.
those are the guys I'm expecting to like kind of get out in the first 2 or 3 days. I don't think they're going to have the cardio to last. But from what I've
Mm-mm.
seen as well, it's a very point heavy competition where a lot of guys they have very good grappling. What they'll do is they'll take you down, sit on top of you, and kind of beat you up to wear you down. They don't always finish you, but they wear you down. And now you're in rounds. They only do 3 rounds. So you're in like the later round of round two and then round three, and you're just so exhausted and they're scoring on you every minute. You're
Mm.
getting more points. And so they end up beating you that way and they preserve their health. Because if you get
Yeah.
jacked up day one, sucks to be you. You're still fighting day
Mm.
2 and 3, maybe. When they preserve their health by taking you down and keeping you there so they're not taking the damage the whole time. And it kind of sucks for you because you're getting punched in the face and you're getting worse and worse. So now the following day you're sore, maybe you're concussed, and you're like, can I fight again? Do I have to drop out? Because otherwise I'm going to be, slurring my words when I'm 31. I have to think about what I'm going to do here. So there's risk and reward here. 5 days of fights means a lot of good competition for me, good experience. But of course, the risk of any serious damage in the first few days, if not just taking on a lot of damage throughout the time. So my coach and I have a very good strategy, and that is to circle around until they start chasing me, like literally following me instead of cutting me off. And then I'm gonna let them run into a punch and then immediately start circling around again. Hopefully, they just keep doing that over and over again. Make it a big Looney Tune show out of the whole thing.
You said
And
it was
then
Mexico
they
City?
win that way.
You said it was in Mexico City?
Yes, it's supposed to be in Mexico City.
Do you think
We are.
elevation will play any kind of factor for you there?
I only recently found out that it's like several thousand feet higher than me. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm pretty upset about that, to be honest with you. I didn't know. I just started training with a guy who's much better than me at stand-up kickboxing. And I told him about this. He's like, oh wow, yeah, man, that's gonna be tough because it's like 5,000 feet higher than where we are right now. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. That sucks. And so I'm just going. I train in the high desert, so it's like 1,000, 2,000 feet higher than where I am right now. So I get a little bit out of it, and I'm just gonna hope that's enough. That's all I got. That's why the guys who compete for the Mexican team down there usually come out on top in these events
Right,
because they have that
right.
cardio, they have
Mhm.
that ability, especially those coming out of Mexico City. But no, did I know about that? No, and I'm very upset by it. But I'm gonna work extra hard and hope it pays off in the end.
Yeah,
Thanks for
five
reminding
day.
him, Rudy.
Well, that's a 5 day tournament, bro. I mean
Yeah,
that's old school, man. I like tournament styles. But as soon as you said Mexico City, I was like, oh shit, that's gonna be tough.
yeah, it's gonna
Mm.
be tough. But I agree with you though. I love tournaments. I kind of wish they kept with that same thing where you could have multiple fights a night. I know it may not be the safest when you're in the highest level because those guys can do some real damage to each
Right.
other. But in the amateurs, I mean, come on, throw
Mhm.
a whole night together, make it fun for the audience.
Hell
Let them
yeah,
root for the
man.
underdog and everything. But I miss those tournaments. I still get them in Taekwondo and kickboxing and whatnot, but less
Yep.
at the highest levels.
So you mentioned it's been a couple years since you last fought. You fought for Epic Fighting, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
my last cage fight was with Epic Fighting
Hmm.
in I
San
don't remember, I
Diego.
think the Epic 56 or 57. I can't remember which one. As November 11th of 2023. And I had just won like 2 months ago, August, or no, 3 months ago in August. I had won my cage fight via knee strikes to the body in the first round. Like it was an excellent win. It was well executed, looked good. And then I go in to have a kickboxing match, and I have two fights that night. I beat those guys both pretty good. So I'm riding this high. I'm like, oh, I'm on in general 3 fight wins. I'm coming off win of my last cage fight. And I get up to this guy and we're looking at his strategy. I'm like, so this guy just kind of bum rushes you and then he tires out in the later rounds. Like, this is great. We like having it's 3 minute rounds. We love having 3 minute rounds with no shin guards. Generally speaking, this should have been kind of an open and shut case. And so I get there, we get into the cage and I tap gloves and I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, he's not moving. And I swear to God, I did some kind of like hypnosis with his eyes, just staring at me like a snake charmer. And you see it in the fight where I throw a couple like attempted knee kicks to him. I throw like I lunge in with a jab, and then I just stand still for no apparent reason. I just stopped moving. I'm looking at him like, this is the part where I got hypnotized. I'm in a different universe in that moment. And then I come to because the guy dropped me with a big right hand. Like it was
Oh my
terrible.
god.
I got flashed in the first 30 something seconds and I'm trying to recover. And I know in my head, I'm like, I gotta recover. I gotta figure it out. My legs are shaking. They won't do the shit I need them to do. And then, sure as shit, the ref comes in, pulls him off. It's over, and I just see him waving. I'm like, it's not. I'm not done. It's fine. I'm fine. He's waving out. It's like, no, you're not fine. You look like a chicken with its head cut off. You're good. Stay there. So that was disappointing. And then I decided to go to Australia for 2 weeks and got 30 pounds overweight. So some had to come back from all of it. But since then, I've had kickboxing matches. I've stayed active, and looking forward to getting back into the cage, especially
yeah.
with such an event like this. And if we can get something earlier, I think we were looking at potentially a fight in Arkansas in August. Yes, is that accurate?
Nice.
Thing. My manager's over there, so there's still a chance I get something before that too, which is good because the sooner I can get in and get that rust off, get back in the action, the better.
Oh
That's
yeah.
awesome, man. I mentioned Epic because they're good friends of ours, man. Harvey Castellano there, and then the ring announcer, Mr. Carlos
Mhm.
Kramer. That's our boy. You know, they're really good friends. We actually even had a belt, Fight Book MMA belt, made so they can
Oh yeah.
compete the amateurs to win that belt, and it happened to be a guy from my hometown at Jackson Wink. He brought that belt over here, so. It was
Hell
cool,
yeah,
man.
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Good for
Harvey
him.
mailed the belt to me, and I went there and presented the belt to the winner, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I love Epic, man. They throw on a show.
They
Um,
do. They do. They put on a very
they
good
are a
show.
well-oiled machine, man. They throw on a show. Well, that's cool that you've had some kickboxing fights as well. Um, so that's pretty dope, man.
No, I'm happy
Um,
with the main thing is it kept me active. That's what I
yes.
was really happy about. It's not just 2 years of zero. It's just when you get enough fights, negative record meaning more losses or positive record with more wins, people stop wanting to fight you. And it's purely because of the experience. At an amateur level, it doesn't really mean anything. You're going to transition, go pro, and then you're back at 0 and
Right.
0.
Right.
But everyone looks at that like, no, he was on the come up and this happened, so I don't know if I want to chance my guy who is I think even if the guy was probably 5 wins and 0 losses, they would still think about it, which is tough for me because then it's like, well, I'm trying to get fights. I don't care how good your guy is. Let's do it anyways. Let's put on a
Hmm.
show. And if he wins, then that was a great challenge for him. And if he loses, then he learned a good lesson. Let that roll with your guy. But people are very protective of their. They should be protective of their health, but they're very protective of their record more
Yep.
than anything else. They want to look really good going pro, and then they want to keep that as long as they can.
We like to
And then
call
they
that
get
padding.
yes, they absolutely. It's funny, Sam Alvey of all people, he's like, I'm not against padding. Go pro, get your 8 wins, no losses, fight bums, go into the UFC, make your real money, and then figure out how to fight good people when you get there.
He's mentioned
That's
that to us
that's
before,
the
man.
Sam Alvey strategy right there.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Sam has mentioned that to us.
And in this fighting economy, I think he's right. I really
Yep.
do. Gone are the days of having all your super tough fights to look good for an organization. Go 7-0 and send the UFC an email. Get yourself in there. Get your $20,000 to show, 20,000 to win, and your 50,000 fight bonus. And
Yep.
figure it out from there because everyone else is going to pay you like $1,000 at most total.
Yep.
Mm,
Yes, in some
mm,
places it's less.
yeah.
Another good friend of mine, Jared Vandera, he fought for the UFC. He fought Andre Arlovsky is one of the names that I
Mhm.
recall. He did great in the UFC, and then I think he took just a handful of losses, and they cut him, and then he went back to the regional scene, and is immediately like, it's only 2 grand. But I guess it's the best I'm going to get, so I'll take it. And it's like, no, you're worth so much more than that. But at the lower levels, we call them the regional scenes for the listeners out there. If you're a pro, but you don't have you're not signed anywhere ongoing, that's regional. Or like under ES on the UFC fight card
Mm.
Right.
with LFA
LFA.
or Cage Warriors. They do a little bit better, but there are definitely some pro organizations that just no one's ever heard of, and you're fighting for 50 cents and a tic tac.
Yep.
Um, and a lot of the guys are happy to do that because they're
Yeah,
trying to get
right.
them moving. But
Yeah, I've had some friends fight for like $300, bro, and they won.
yes, yeah, yeah, and it's and you know what? After everything, you get taxed, you pay your team, and then you get medical. You're already in the hole. The 300 doesn't mean anything.
Yep,
You'd be
Mhm.
in the hole at if you did everything with a good team and a good camp. You'd be in the hole if you made like 3 grand.
yep,
So
Mm.
it's especially I know people argue a lot of the time about fighters don't get paid enough, and while I do kind of sit on that hill a little bit, I do look at it like, yes, they're not getting paid enough, but the UFC is still paying out like 3 to 4 times more than everyone else's max at their base, so
right,
that's
right,
still a big step up for everybody. That's if you can so that's why I agree with Sam. If you can get into the UFC ASAP and you can make your money right then and there, then just do it. Don't waste any time because you're not going to make your real money anywhere else. And once you get to a certain age, a certain amount of damage, if you're not already
exactly,
there, if you're not already in the UFC, they don't want you. They're not going to take you. How many the top everyone's got that dream, but really it's the top 1% that ever become fighters. The top 1% of that go pro. The top 1% of that get into the UFC. It's such a small number of people that get anywhere where they can actually make a living from this job. So it's
right.
way better to just make yourself look great, get in there, and then figure out the tough fights when you get there. Don't worry about it till you arrive.
Mhm. So, are there any other promotions that you would love to fight for, other than trying to get in with the UFC?
I just had actually someone message me on Instagram this, and yes, I actually would love after going finishing out this year and going pro in this year at the end towards the end, I want to get into karate combat.
I was about to say karate combat.
Yeah,
Yes.
and listen, I know cage fighting is my home. It's where I started, and everyone wants to get to the UFC. That's always the dream. But I like what they're doing. I think they're fun. I like President Asim, or they call him President Awesome. I like what he's doing out there, and I think he runs a really cool organization. Sometimes it can be a little bit funny behind the scenes. When I was with Sam, I don't know if they ever talked about it, but we had guys who would like get in each other's faces and pick up furniture and throw furniture at each other
Oh
in the
shit.
middle of their like pre-fight press conferences. And then this time he's like, you know what? Screw the media. They don't put your guys' stuff up anyways. We're gonna do a podcast style talk between you guys, and we'll put you up and we'll promote you because that's what you guys need as fighters. You need someone who has your back. And as soon as he sat them down, like interview number one, they immediately stood up and the guy just started choking the other dude. Just got up, double hands on the neck. He's like Homer Simpson, Bart right there in the corner. And then a few interviews later, they're asking this guy in his native language because he doesn't speak English very well. Hey, how do you feel about the fight? And he's answering how he feels about the fight. And then the dude across from him in bad English but still English is like, "Hey, what's he saying? He's talking shit, and you're talking shit, aren't you?" And he picks up the table that's right in front of him, and is like about to throw the table at him. And it just um and while we could speculate as to whether or not a sim knows that's going to happen, I think he's not prepared. I don't think he's prepared for how it was going to go down when you put them so close. Because in the press conference, he can stand between them kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
In the podcast, they can hold hands while talking to him. So there was a lot less control there. I think like Sam, myself, and Tyrone Spong, Sam's opponent at the time, all stepped in to stop the guy who was choking the dude. So it got a little hinky there, but that's what made it fun. And of course, they got that all recorded. They can put it all up. It's good content, and it does still make a name. Now that said, I want to fight with them because I like how they fight. I like the all stand up, some grappling, but mainly stand up, and that's my thing. I just also think being a part of one of those interviews would be fun. just,
The crowds are
just
wild.
add a little bit of crazy to it.
Right.
Um,
I love
Hey, well,
karate combat,
you
man.
got somebody that can get you in, man. You got Sam in
Yes,
your
I have
pocket. So
Sam. My wonderful manager has good contacts and
yes,
relationships
yes,
with them. So
yep.
I'm set up once I go pro. And then oh, that reminds me. Do we have time for me to tell another story, by the way?
100%.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
100%,
cool.
bro. We got all
Um,
the time you want.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It relates to that night at Karate Combat. I just love telling the story whenever I think about it. It's in Dubai where Sam fought for the two belts.
Mm,
And Dubai, Abu Dhabi, all the different countries in the Emirates, they have their own line of basically royalty. They have their own princes that govern their different cities and they have different rules. And so what you could get away with Dubai, you couldn't get away with in Abu Dhabi, for example. Sometimes the rules are different. You got to be very careful. But something that's the same is when they call you to do something, when the princes reach out to you, you do it and you don't ask questions about it. And so we get there and it's the end of the fight. Sam had just won. And then President Awesome comes out to us and he's like, "Oh, that was great job, Sam. Fantastic. Now I need you guys to get out of here because I have to have a prince fight." And we're just kind of double taking at him. "What do you mean?" And he's like, I got a call from one of the princes, and he said, "My son is at your event right now. My son wants to have a match in your pit in front of your people, and you're gonna make sure he's not gonna get hurt. Click. That's it." And
What?
and sure enough, one of the aides came over from that prince, told President Austin what's going on, who the kid is, and they set it up. They got him with, of all people, they got him a Dagestani wrestler to have this
Oh
jiu-jitsu
my
match with him. Like
god.
that, knowing that after the fact was like, that's not the best decision, but I'm imagine the conversation went down like, "Hey, you're gonna have a grappling match with this kid and you're not gonna hurt him because if you do, none of us are going home." That's exactly what I think he said to this guy.
Right.
And I remember, and the moment I see him in the match, I'm like, I know that guy. And I know that guy because we had just finished warming up Sam. And I see him walk into the green room with this entourage of people, and they're hyping him up. They're hooting and hollering. He's kind of doing really bad wrestling on the mats with this trainer who, this is day one, by the way. He never did anything in his life. This is his first day of martial arts training.
Oh my
And he's got
god.
this guy trying to teach him guard passes and triangles and like reversals. And I don't know who this is. So I'm kind of taking the piss here to look at one of his friends. And I'm like, "Hey, what's that guy doing?" He's like, "Oh, he's gonna fight." Like, "Oh, that's cool. Has he ever done any kind of martial arts or any kind of competition?" "No, this is his first day." Like,
Oh.
"Yeah, he's really brave, you know that?" just kind of mildly talking shit, but they're laughing, so I think it's cool. And then after the fact, I find out who he is. I'm like, "Oh, I probably should have been more respectful."
Right. You're not
But I
dogging
made
on
it
the
back home,
prince's
so everything's
kid.
okay. Yeah.
That's crazy,
Um,
man.
but
Oh, that's
that's why another reason why I like Karate Combat. Things like that just happens, and it's fun.
You know,
They're a
Sean
great
Strickland would have.
organization. They create
Sean
great
Strickland
stories.
wouldn't have let him win. He wouldn't have let him
no.
win.
Sean would have probably
No,
tossed him over the
Sean. Sean would have given him 1 minute like Sneeko before choking him upside down with his feet or something.
Oh, I love that Sneeko, man. That was hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I don't like him, but I give him props for getting in there and doing that
Yeah, I
because
don't like him either.
for sure he had to have known what was going to happen. Like he's not he's an instigator. He says some
Mhm.
very outlandish, very harmful things to the youth of today. And he's
Yep.
had these same kids come up to him in person and like repeat back his rhetoric. And he's like, "Oh no, don't say that. That's bad. Don't listen to that." And it's him saying it on his streams.
Yep.
Um, but he got in there. He got in there knowing what Sean was going to do to him. Maybe he thought he can handle it. And thank God Forrest Griffin was there to save his ass. Otherwise,
That's
he'd
hilarious.
probably still be there. He'd be like a permanent ornament on that cage.
Sean hates influencers. It's
Yes, he
hilarious.
does. Yes, he does. And I'm glad I didn't talk about being like on social media when I met him because I had no idea about that at the time.
He would have been like, "Oh, you're an influencer? Come on, let's go."
Yeah, no, the
No.
perspective changes immediately.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, but he's Sean. I still will say Sean's a good guy. He obviously gives us a good thing to laugh at and have fun with. But I will say this: he is who he is. The camera, everyone works it up for the camera. Everyone is more than themselves in front of the camera. But Sean doesn't. He doesn't make a character. That's just how he acts in real life. That's his everyday thing. So that's what I think makes him a kind of a fan favorite when he goes in the fight because he has people who really relate to him. It's not fake. It's not the Colby Covington persona where he was like training with some of the best Brazilian fighters ever and then just immediately started hating Brazil for some reason. It's genuine, which I think is really cool about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kobe's
for
weird.
sure.
Yeah, he is.
So you mentioned karate combat. Now, if
Yeah.
an MMA promotion, calls you, which promotion would you want to get called? I mean, other than the UFC. I mean, because there's a lot of MMA promotions out there. Is
Yeah,
there
there
one
is.
in particular that you're like eyeing on for like a just in case? You know what? I want to get a
Mhm.
MMA fight in.
Yeah, I looked at the PFL for a long, long time. I met some really amazing people when I went out to do some promotional stuff with the PFL. So if I had an opportunity to fight for them, I would. And I know they tend to have a better base pay and benefits for their competitors because they have a smaller roster. I think they have like 100, maybe a little more than that now, people on their roster, where the UFC is like 500, 600 people just being rotated out for 50 weeks out of the year. So definitely PFL would be a great option. UFC, it's like any day. I'd go pro right this moment if UFC asked me to join them, and I'd figure it out like Sam says. So absolutely, I'm always open to the opportunity to make a name for myself in one of those organizations. But the PFL definitely is on my
PFL.
mind.
Because I know like Octagon MMA, they're huge out in the I believe they're from the UK or somewhere out there.
Yeah.
They're stadiums, just sellout stadiums that they're doing. And then you have one of the promotions that are overseas based out of Bahrain, our friends over there at Brave Combat Federation. they're
Oh, I've heard
they're
of them. Yeah. Okay.
they are making moves, man. And one of our good friends, Jose Shorty Torres, fights for them. And when he was on the show, we asked him, he's like, "Would you go back with the UFC or stick with Brave?" And he's like, "I'm staying with Brave. They take care of me. They
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
care of me way better than the UFC." I was like, "Huh, interesting." And it's not the first fighter that's told us that has fought for the UFC. You know, they'll fight for other organizations, and they're like, "I'm getting treated a lot better here than I was with the UFC."
Yeah.
Now,
Like,
if we're talking about money wise,
it's
I'm
different.
sure I'm sure they're making
Yeah.
more money with the UFC. But as far as getting taken care of and all that other good stuff, then good for them that they found a promotion that suits them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and it's something that I think people don't take into account for as well. Most UFC fighters, if you keep an eye on those roster and those cuts, like I don't know how often they make cuts to their thing, but if you keep on top of it, you'll see that this sometimes you'll get a guy who comes in for like a month, couple of months, and then gets shifted out. It's like
Yeah.
going into the major leagues, and then they couldn't find anyone to trade with him, and they don't want him anymore, so he gets shifted down to the minors or to a regional scene again. And that's most of their thing. What everyone idealizes is the top fighters who have the best promotion or knew how to make a name for themselves, or they win a bunch of fights because they're that great, they're that on top of the game, and so they make some of the money, and they make the name for themselves. They get to keep in it. Or you're like Sam, where Sam was a great fighter for a long time. He knew how
Hmm.
to put on a show, great on the mic, and then he brought the social media following, which gave them every reason to be like, I mean, yeah, the guy's on a 6, 7 fight losing streak, but he makes people watch the fight. That's it. So he's still gonna fight on main cards. He's still gonna be on the UFC numbered events. And when he wasn't on the numbered events, he was the headline. So it's
Yeah.
Hmm.
absolutely there's that small percentage at the top that really makes the money that incentivizes everyone to try and get there. But like you said, it's when you're at the very bottom, you're the first guy jumping in there. You've got like I don't know, a 9-3, 9-4 record. They're kind of looking at you more like fodder. Can you be the journeyman, the stepping stone for our next phenom, for our next,
Hmm.
our next 10-0 guy?
Yeah, and
Um,
then you get guys who screw the pooch. Like this past weekend, Chris
mhm,
Ewert, he was supposed to fight Jackson McVeigh on short notice at UFC 317, and he fought in a contender series, didn't make the cut, but then he got the call to come to the UFC.
mhm.
Short notice again, but he came in over 10 pounds. UFC
Hmm.
immediately cut him. They
Yeah.
canceled
Hmm.
the fight. They just cut his ass. I was like,
Yeah.
that's horrible, man.
I mean, do you get
But
a call from the UFC if you're weighing 200 pounds? Let's just put it that, and then they say, "Hey, can you fight at 175 or whatever?" And you're like, "Yeah, your ass better make that weight."
yeah,
It
no,
doesn't.
it's
You got to do what you got to do to make that
you got to
weight.
do what you got to do. It now I'll say this. Hopefully, it's within a reasonable amount of time. But here's the
Yeah,
expectation, though. Too, if you fight at 170, what are you doing at 230 pounds?
Right?
right.
What? Why are you so heavy when you could get a call like that? If you're getting called from the UFC, it's because you have a small expectation they're going to call you. You know that's a possibility. So what are you doing that out of shape? Because if they
Yep.
call you, it's not going to be because they looked at you and like, hey, we want you. Here's time for a full camp. It's going to be because, hey, this guy dropped out. You got 15 days. Can you do it? So don't bullshit them. You'd
Mhm.
have. I know. It's definitely that you got to figure it out. But one thing I've learned in this industry too is that honesty goes a long way. And so
Right.
if you're not able to do it, and you tell them, hey, I'm not able to do it. It's bad, whatever for me. And even better if you got a second guy, like, hey, but here's this other guy who from my team who can do it. You know,
Right.
give yourself an in. But my point is, don't bullshit people because then they don't want
Yeah.
you back. Then there's never a time where they're going to trust you again. Like
I
that
think that
guy's
was the
cut.
thing.
Never going to see him again.
Yeah, that was the
Probably
thing is
not.
he bullshit them and probably said, yeah, I'll make the weight. No problem. And then he goes in there and it's like, I thought you said you could make the weight, bro. You didn't even come close. You didn't even try. You came in like 12 pounds heavy.
12
Come on,
pounds
man.
heavy. Or you
Unless
could
you're
be like Hamzat and they love you so much that they just make you fight in the next. They just swap fighters around for
Oh God.
you.
Yep. Oh,
unless
I
you're
remember
unless
that.
you're
Remember that? That was
yeah.
crazy. They swapped out who was it? It was
He was
uh
supposed to fight like Nate Diaz or something, and they
and
couldn't
they
make it.
found
So
out fought Holland, right?
yeah, they bumped him up to
Yeah.
fight Kevin
Kevin
Holland.
Holland.
Yeah. Just don't be like Patty Pimblett, ballooning up to like 500 pounds after your fight, and then you
Patty the
make all
fatty.
that weight. Like Patty the Fatty, dude. How in the hell? We got
I,
names, bro. We
your
got
nicknames are
nicknames for all these,
fantastic. I don't know how the fuck he can do that. Like that
right?
actually makes me mad because I he's got to have the best metabolism in the world and simultaneously the worst to balloon up like that, or he just I don't know what his training regimen is, but anyone who can just suck down 3,000 calories a day, probably more than that if he, because with his metabolism and the way he trains, like 5,000 calories a day, get super big, and then just, I don't know, the span of 8 weeks, he's back to trim, he's back to ready, he's looking great on the scale, he never looks tired,
Shredded.
shredded. I don't know what he does. I think what was it? Jerry Prochaska got mad at Peloton because he thought he was doing some kind of like voodoo shit behind the
Yeah.
scenes. I think no one's looking at Patty, but he's absolutely doing some mystic arts back there. He's got some Hogwarts
It,
students in the
it's some UK
background.
shit, bro. It's some UK shit. I remember a
Yeah.
boxer, Ricky Hatton, used to do the same thing. We call him Ricky Fatten because he would just balloon and then, come fight night, this dude was just slim and trim. Like, wow, how did he cut all that weight? Insane, man.
This is why Patty's got such a good chin. It's not because he's got good genetics, but it's because he's naturally like 45 pounds heavier than he's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
dude.
He's got all that weight to ground him into the canvas, you know.
And
How
I give
many
the
pieces
guy a
of?
lot of shit, bro. I give the guy a lot of
Oh
shit.
yeah.
But this last fight that he fought against Chandler, oh my
Yeah.
God, dude. He seemed like he just elevated his game, leaps and bounds. I thought he's just going to grind him down. He's going to take him down and just hump him.
Mhm.
But he went out there and banged with him, bro. I mean, he laid him out. It was amazing.
It really was. And I always, when I looked at his fights and the people who competed with, he never fought anyone as stocky as Chandler. Chandler's a
Yep.
big, short, but big guy. And
Mhm.
so I thought he would look kind of small out there. I thought he would look like the way we'd see photos depicting Illa Taporia versus Charles. But when you saw Illa and Charles together, they were pretty similar. And that's what we saw out there too. Patty was like comparable to Chandler, and it showed in the power of the strikes, the takedowns, like you think of Chandler as this dog, he fights through everything. He stood up with I don't remember if it was Charles on his back, just or someone,
Yeah.
but he was
It was
like back
Charles.
Oh yeah.
splashing
He does the
over and
yeah yeah.
over again. And he just got dog walked.
Yep.
Like again, another fight that just almost didn't look competitive.
Nope.
And so I was taken aback by it. He's definitely as much as we're having fun with his name right now. Patty, don't hurt me. Like if you're out there, just don't find me. Don't find this interview. I'd really appreciate it if you just didn't see this.
Like the same.
Just use him
Patty the
separately. Everyone
Fatty,
else is
bro.
good.
Patty the Fatty. That's yeah, dude. That's just
Yeah.
it's just
Wait,
yeah. I don't know. I have no worries, man. That dude is just a
no.
freak.
Weight isn't just another fight in itself. We heard. It's funny enough. I keep saying his name. We heard Topuria talking to Joe Rogan about this, and when he went from 45 to 55, he was acknowledging that he'd have to be more professional in his weight cut than he did in the fights.
Mm.
He had He had to put more strain, dedication, and focus on his weight cut than anything else. Because these guys are 145ers, they're cutting from 80, 180.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it just that's astronomical. I know that 40 pounds may not seem like a lot, but when you have to do it in such a short period of time, and it's the day before or even the morning of sometimes when they're cutting that last of the
Right.
water, which means it's probably 14 to 15 pounds of water weight in one go,
Mhm.
if not more. One thing's for sure, they're not going to be able to digest properly at 50. They're going to need medicine for that by the time they're that
Yep.
old. Um, but as it stands, it's a large dedication to the weight cuts. I hate cutting any amount of weight. I dread having to lose an extra 5 if necessary. And I've done as high as 13 before, and that's just
Mm.
miserable. Just
It's miserable, bro.
miserable. And you can in any way. I think the only sport that has it worse than cage fighting or combat sports in general is bodybuilding. Those
Oh yeah.
Oh
guys,
yeah,
Oh yeah,
bro.
for sure.
Bodybuilders, bro.
oh, dude,
Mm-mm.
14 pounds of water weight is amateur numbers. Weak.
Mm-mm.
Guys, I
Mm-mm.
don't know what they're doing to cut their weight. Saunas, hot tub, sitting in a bunch of blistering hot towels bundled up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
It's
know a
just
couple of bodybuilders, and geez, bro, it's insane how much weight they cut. It's
yeah.
insane. I could never do that. Hell no.
No, that's
Speaking of
worse than a fight to me.
speaking of weight cuts, do you like what One Championship is doing with their weight cutting, their hydration, making sure the fighters are okay to fight, doing all of the science behind all of this?
Well, yeah, I think anything that keeps people fighting closer to their natural weight is good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I fight at 185 generally, but I walk around at 95. I'm not far off. I would not consider myself a weight bully. I You lose most of it naturally during the course of a fighting camp, if not all of it during the course of a
Right.
fighting camp. So I do that earnestly. I'm not trying to jump down too far to be a weight bully, and I know that with one championship, that's a lot harder now to maintain that because if they're clocking you at doing something inappropriate or if you're not maintaining certain levels, they're going to call you on it, and that can be difficult to get you fights or keep you in the organization. Now, I would just say instead of going through all that hassle, create more weight classes. Just
Mm.
Right.
give us more belts. It's not like it's hard. You can decide that in 3 days, just to add a 165, to add a 195, to add a if you want every 5 pounds, add a 75. Sure, you might have to spend a little bit of time filling up the roster, but you've got at least 20, 30 people per weight class now, if not more. You can absolutely shift 10 of them over somewhere else and offer another belt. And it gets those guys as well who may have never seen the limelight at 70. Now all of a sudden they're 75 or
Yeah.
65, and they've got a great opportunity for the gold and to make a name for themselves and promote the company. Um, so I never known why they wouldn't just allow for more weight classes. But really, to answer your question, yes, I love what they're doing. I wish more companies would adopt hydration tests and exams.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything to keep the fighter safe. Because I know, speaking as a fighter, we don't give a shit about our health. We just don't. We'll cut whatever weight for whatever amount of money for whatever organization because we all want to look like we're in it for the game and supportive of what you're doing so that we can get ourselves to the next level. Because if we don't look like we're team players, then we're not going to get the money. We're not going to fight for the good companies. So as long as we play your game, we win in the end. Kind of, except for our
Yeah.
health. So you got to look out for us. We're stubborn as shit. We won't do it for ourselves.
So many moons ago at my last fight, one of the coaches called me up and he's like, "Hey, do you want to fight?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." When is it? In 2 weeks. Okay. Just to let you know, I'm walking around right now at 166 because I'm training for a full marathon, and I
Mhm.
want to be light on my feet. Pause, dude. Just a silent pause, and then he says, "What the fuck are you doing at 166?" Because that when he knew me, I was walking
Yeah.
around 185, 190, and the guy that I fought, he was at 195.
Okay.
And I'm over here at 166. I was like, dude, if he can make weight at 175, I'll take the fight. I'll just do it as a favor for you because you need somebody to fight on your card, and I'll do it. He's
Yeah.
like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm sure. 10 minutes later, calls me up again. He's like, all right, He said he agreed at 177. Dude, I shit you not, man. I get to the scale 166. Get in the cage at 166. This guy came in at 177. Walked in the cage at 195,
Yeah, of
dude.
course he did.
I was like, what the hell,
He
man?
ragdolled you.
On the second round, he did because it was my fault. I threw a kick because he telegraphed a Superman punched, did a roundhouse
Oh.
kick, dropped him. My dumbass from my training jumped on top of him, which I shouldn't have done because I'm, this little guy trying to fight this big ass dude.
Yeah.
And he's a wrestler. So he just fucking turned me around and I had to tap because there was just no way I was going to win. But I almost choked him out. I almost choked him out in the first round, almost knocked him out in the second round. And then my dumbass jumps on top of him and I lost.
No, weight matters so much in
It
a fight.
does.
Weight and strength. It does. You were clearly tactically the better fighter, but he was just big.
Yeah.
He was just big.
Yeah.
And so that plays in such a role. And now it plays a role so long as this is in effect. You both know comparable skills to each other. Like Demetrius Johnson could just jump into most fights now with 85ers on the regional or I'd say regional scene. Maybe that might be a little bit high. You could say good amateurs to regional pros and just smoke them. It wouldn't even be compared. It'd be first round like drops or knees to the face or chokes, flying arm bars the whole time as a little guy. But he's just so much more advanced at that point. But again, like I said, I think you were clearly the better fighter skill wise. You got beat out by weight that night.
Yeah. And even, we actually even talked after the fight and he even asked me, he's like, dude, so how do you generate so much power on the ground? I'm like, well, I train with nothing but beasts. These guys are like 6 foot, 250 pounds. I'm right here at walking around at 185, 190, 5'9", so yes, I get that strength, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I did it as a favor, Karate Chavez needed somebody, and I was like, I'm there for you, my friend. I will go and fill that slot that you need. So
That's awesome, though. Good on you for that. Really, that's not easy, especially when he dropped the ball. That it's like the guy's in 190s.
Dude, I was like,
throw me a bone, Mr. 166.
I know, right? Oh my god. Oh man. Well, Bear, we are running out of time here, my friend. Thank you so much, man. This was fun. It was
Thank
fun
you.
having you
I had a
on,
great
man.
day. It was very easy to talk. I didn't even get to everything I wanted to talk about. I was hoping we talk about Joe Rogan maybe fighting the fucking stupid Liver King.
You know what? Let's talk about that. Let's do it. I want to talk. Yes. That was one topic I totally passed my mind. Bro, what is up with that, dude?
He's roided out of his mind. He's got bird shit on his face, like he's got bird shit on his face like 3 days out of the week. He's crawling on the floor in front of his yard. Like I don't think he's crazy, but I think he's doing his best impression of a crazy guy right now. And Joe told us on a not a recent but a relatively recent podcast where the guy was trying to get on his show over and over again, and he would use contacts from people where he was on their podcast, like what's his name, the Kreischer guy. He did the oh my god, what's his name? He did the machine comedy bit. Phil, I don't know. Anyways, he got on that guy's podcast, pretty famous comedian, and then he's using that contact to try and get on Joe Rogan. And the security guard had to actually stop him from going up and interacting with him in some way. But he's still messaging him over and over again. Hey, let's get on the show together. Let's hype up a fight. Let's have a match. And I think back in the day when he was almost gonna fight this really famous actor whose name I'm also now spacing, even though I did a video on it recently. Wesley Snipes. And
yeah.
and back in those days, internet not the best. And so Wesley Snipes could be like, hey, here's this comedian talking head for this fight company. I could probably beat him up. He's small. Let's make some money. And then his people or him found out, oh no, Joe Rogan was an actual competitive fighter. Like combat tested and he will hurt him. He's like, fuck that. We're not fighting Joe Rogan, and left,
Yeah.
just dipped, stopped all communications right then and there. Didn't bring it up ever again. This guy, Liver King, can look up everything and then is still like, yeah, I want to fight Joe Rogan because he's probably going in debt. The guy's probably in so much
Oh,
debt
big
right now.
time.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
he's looking for
After he got exposed as a fraud,
yeah.
I think he just kind of got addicted to the fame and he kind of misses it. And that's why he's trying so hard. And it's kind of cringe, man. It's like, bro, just let it go, man. Why don't you just do something else?
He's got the scariest vids online right now. Just scary as far as health and like watching this train wreck happen, but you can't look away from it.
Right, right.
And to what we talked about with him being outed, who in their goddamn mind thought this guy was jacked at 45, 50 years old eating bowl balls? Like it just it's
Yeah.
not that's not how it works in any regard. There's nothing I can eat. There's nothing I can eat that is not straight TRT when I'm that old. That's going to give me bulging 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
I'd have to be consuming HGH by the ounce every single day at that age to maintain that kind of physique. And clearly, he's still dropping thousands of dollars on it. Look at his body. It's not like he's really changed that much. He's just lost
So
it
that
up in the head
picture,
a little bit.
Rudy.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. He's lost it, bro. Yeah.
yeah. He's
Kind of looks like Clay Guida there.
he does look like Clay.
That's
Nah,
such a stupid picture.
I don't even think Joe would punch him. I think Joe would throw a kick at him and just call it
Oh,
a day.
dude.
Yeah, just one kick and it's
Just
over.
send him across the cage with a spinning back kick. That's just
Yes.
that's it. It would just take one, right in the
One.
liver.
Yep. To the Liver King.
Yeah.
No pun intended, right?
Oh, not in the cage. It would be funny.
No. Oh man, Bear, we gotta have you back, man. We gotta have you back
I
on.
want to be back. I want to be back. This was good fun. I appreciate
Yes.
you guys having me on and everything.
Yeah, for sure, man. I hope our interview, or we don't even call them interviews anymore. We have conversations. That's what we have. We have conversations with our guests because
Yeah.
it's always like these other podcasts, man. It's always like, how was your training camp? How do you feel? What do you think about your opponent? Like, dude, how did you get started in fighting? Like, we already know that. Just look them up on Google and you'll know all those answers, right?
No,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
No, I don't want someone to ask me how a fight camp's going. I want someone to ask me which Star Wars character I think I could take in a fight. Like that's
right. Hey,
Which
that's
Star Wars
Rudy right
character
there.
do you think you can fight?
That's Rudy's realm right
Han
there,
Solo.
man.
But I
Han Solo.
like having these conversations. This is what makes it real though for the audience too. Because it's I'm gonna be out there somewhere to watch and someone's gonna really connect with everything we're talking about. But
Right.
I think these conversations bring out the best in everybody. There's points where we all laugh, there's points where we ask good questions, there's points where we're shooting shit. And I think that benefits everyone across the board. Yes, information still gets out there, but the reason why they're watching, maybe me because I'm the guest this week, but the reason why they're watching you guys is because you're not just out here giving boring, bland information, asking the same questions everyone's always asking. You are interesting, you're different, and that's what breaks the cycle and gets people to watch you instead. So that's why I like coming on here. This is fun. This isn't like dry cut and copy, repeating the same 7 answers I give every time, then saying goodbye. We got to have fun.
Yeah, that
for
shit
sure,
gets
man.
boring, bro.
Yeah, it does. That's the whole reason why we created this podcast, man. We wanted to be different and bring in people.
And you're on the 250th episode.
I know,
bro.
right?
250 episodes. That's
Oh
crazy.
shit! Congratulations, guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, 250th episode tonight, man, which is pretty cool.
250. And here's to another 250 and beyond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Bear, thank you so much, man. Really do appreciate you jumping on. And I know we've had some scheduling issues, but you know what? It just worked out perfect. Before we let you go, brother, if there's anybody you want to shout out, it doesn't matter who it is, man, go for it.
There's so many things I can say. Just very quickly, of course, myself at Bear Like the Animal, Fiorda, no space, no caps, no nothing for all my socials. My own gym, free MMA gyms. But also, there's the Team USA at Team USA on Instagram, Facebook, all social media. They are the competitive team I'll be with when I'm down there in Mexico City. Team USA MMA. I beg your pardon, Team USA MMA. Thank you, manager. But they're the
Thank you,
team I'll be
manager.
with when I'm down there. So please show them some love, like their page, follow their stuff. Yeah, I think that would do it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Bear. Appreciate you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bear Fiorda, thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir.
Me and my pit stands.
Oh, man. Don't let it pass 2 years or a year, bro. Let's get you back on pretty soon. Let your manager know that we would love to have you back on.
Can I come back on?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Numbers we can text.
Make sure you send her your phone number so you guys can text and make
Okay.
it faster. All right.
Perfect. I
100%.
will
Hey,
email
bro.
her
Happy
my-
4th of
my-
July.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. Bye.
Excellent,
What?
excellent, bro.
Dude,
That
he
was
is
fun, man. That
amazing.
was fun, dude. I could talk to that guy for hours.
I
bro.
know
So
we could have
literally,
like another 30-minute talk with him, but
we could.
time has catching up to us, bro. We are going to extend this episode, so let's go ahead and get into our other segment, bro.
Oh, what segment is that? I think it's time, Roberto. It's almost time, bro.
Outside the Cage News.
As we always say, there's always a lot of interesting things happening outside the cage news, or outside the cage news, outside the cage, or the ring, or the mats, whatever it is. It could be fight related or not fight related. But yeah, man, he's fucking laughed at that picture.
Oh, and guess who decides to join us at the end?
Oh,
Mark.
wow, Mark! Oh my
Technical
God.
difficulty. I was watching partially like on one TV because it was working, but my phone was all being wonky as fuck. So I apologize, fellas.
It's all right. So the
That's
first piece of information I want to share is that immediately after Jake Paul winning his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez, he announced that he was wondering why people aren't stepping up to help Ben Askren get a lung transplant, which is kind of weird. But the great thing is that Ben Askren ended up getting a double lung transplant. His wife, this comes from his wife. We're so thankful to share that Ben has received a double lung transplant. We're forever thankful to the donor and his family. It's the beginning of a new lifestyle for Ben, but every new day he has is a gift. Still doesn't feel real that he's walking around completely healthy just 5 weeks ago. So much can change so quickly. So apparently, he's still in for a fight, but the good news is he's received that double lung transplant. I don't know if Jake Paul had anything to do with it. I know the Tate brothers.
Bro.
The Tate brothers stepped up to help out too, or at least they said they did. I'm pretty sure somebody pitched in and did something for this guy, bro. So I'm really happy to announce that Ben is okay. We talked about it last week. He was in our prayers, and those prayers have been answered, and he still has a battle. So keep him in your prayers, folks. And wish
You know
nothing
what's
but
so
the best for
sad,
Ben.
bro? It's that the UFC didn't step up.
Yeah, that's very sad.
The UFC should have stepped up. Even one championship should have stepped up, being that that's their former, greatest fighter that they've had on the roster. I think with both promotions pitching in, it would have been a faster recovery for Ben Askren. And I think it's sad, man. These are multi-billion-dollar fucking companies, and they can't throw an extra, 10 G's or whatever to help with the Askren family. So it sucks. It sucks.
It makes me worry for the fighters that are going to retire soon. You know what I mean? Like the older fighters that are getting up there to an age. Like it makes me worry for some of them in the future.
Yeah, because what are they going to do, man? They don't have a 401k. They don't have a retirement. It's like they got to go and find a job at Walmart, as a greeter or something.
What are we talking about now?
How'd you become so gay?
Oh, I don't have that. I don't have that. What? Oh yeah, you know
man.
what? I wanted to show everybody this picture because I thought it was pretty funny. But this is check this out. What's up with that, bro? Who do you think that is?
He's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, this is Patty Pimlet. He's apparently thinking about doing something to Ilya Tapuria's son. Not quite sure
Dude,
what that
we should
is.
show that to Bear.
Wow.
I mean, what do you think he's thinking? What do you think he's thinking, folks?
I'm gonna
You're going to
destroy
see your dad cry. I'm going to make your dad cry.
Look at that
Your
picture,
daddy's a
dude.
bitch.
Oh
No,
my god.
you think your dad's strong now? Well, till he fights me, he's going to
What else?
cry.
What else? What else have we got here? Oh, DDP's in the news again. He's pretty freaking funny, dude. Let me stop that crazy music. So DDP's getting ready to bring up Chechnyan civil war and Kamzat's son to the press conference.
What the fuck, dude?
Bro, what's up with DDP, dude? This guy
Dude.
has like zero fucks. And speaking of Kamzat, Kamzat apparently beefing with the wrong Sean Strickland on social media. He's like,
I don't know how to use the social media. My bad.
oh, that's a wrong one. That's a wrong one. Kamzat, here's the first one that he sent. He's like, he tells him, sorry, bro, wrong Strickland. What did he tell him? What did he say? I can't see this.
He's flipping them off.
Yeah, he was talking shit. Oh yeah, he flipped them off. He was talking shit. He was talking shit to the wrong strong shit. Wrong strong Thickland. I can't even say that, bro. Wrong Sean Strickland. Okay, there you go.
Wrong Sean Strickland. See, that's 3 times fast.
Right?
What else?
Oh, bro. Speaking of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Oh
the
yeah.
article I wrote.
Let me pull up that article real quick. So yeah, I mean, if it wasn't bad enough that he lost to Jake Paul, being a professional boxer, being the son of Julio Cesar Chavez, he also got arrested by ICE. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. arrested by ICE, set for deportation amid organized crime allegations. On July 3rd, 2025, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detained former WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in Studio City, Los Angeles, on charges stemming from an expired visa and alleged involvement in organized crime. This is the part that I don't get. Ethiopian officials have initiated expedited deportation proceedings, citing his overstay and outstanding criminal accusations in Mexico. What does Ethiopia have to do with this?
I know, dude. I was
I have no
like,
clue.
what the fuck?
Chavez
random shit
entered
right
the
there.
U.S. August 2023 on a tourist visa that expired in February, despite being flagged last year as an egregious public safety threat by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. He was not removed and re-entered the country in January 2025. Authorities assert that Chavez is an affiliate of the Sinaloa cartel and faces a Mexican arrest warrant for trafficking firearms and explosives. His attorney says the arrest while he was riding a scooter. That's funny. He says that its current allegations are outrageous and simply another headline to terrorize the community. I don't know, man. I mean, if you're trafficking firearms and explosives for the Sinaloa cartel to Ethiopia, yeah, I think that's a crime, bro. But again, I don't know what Ethiopian officials have to do with any of this. That's kind of weird.
I want to join in the fun. That's all.
It is weird. It is weird, but you know what? They're involved. One way or another, they're involved.
What else in fight news? Molly McCann, Meatball Molly McCann, former UFC fighter, signs with Matchroom. So she's just gonna suck over there now.
Yep, she is.
Let's see what else.
And then you have Jersinho Rosenstruck signs a multi-fight deal with Dirty Boxing, bro.
Nice. Yeah, Jairzinho signs with Dirty Boxing, which is awesome. I love Jairzinho. I don't think the UFC did him dirty. I think they gave him an opportunity to go make money somewhere else because this guy's he's a hitter, and he's definitely going to put some people away at this, man.
Oh yeah,
this is definitely a sport that he's meant for.
Dude, I mean, this guy can move. He can move in a fucking, in the heavyweight division. So he's got power in his hands. Yep. So this is a good sport. Now, should we see him in bare knuckle? I think that would be fucking dope if we could
I
see
wouldn't
him in
mind
bare
that at
knuckle.
all.
But hey,
At all.
dirty boxing, man. Dirty
And
boxing is as close as we can get.
and in case you didn't notice, I was playing the Kill Bill intro before Outside the Cage because, you know, sadly, Michael Madsen, who was a star on Kill Bill 1 and 2, he was on Reservoir Dogs. He was Mr.
Awesome.
Pink. He passed away, sadly, I think a few days ago, or was it actually today? He died of
think it's
cardiac
today.
arrest.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was today. He was 67, pronounced dead at the scene, according to the manager. Cause of death was cardiac arrest. So that's sad, really
Mhm.
sad, bro. I really enjoyed the movies and films that he was in. Who
Dude, he
doesn't
was
love
in
Mr. Pink, bro?
thousands of movies, bro.
I mean, he started back in like 1981, bro, and I mean,
Yeah. His
there's
resume
hundreds of things that he's been in, man. So
Yeah.
it's kind of depressing, but hey,
Yeah.
you know what? We got a new intro for Outside the Cage News.
Yeah, we did. Oh shit. Oh my god. Yeah, man, I think this was a good episode, man. Our 250th episode. Obviously we're running more just because it's 250th episode, man. Then we
Hey,
had
and
a nice
tomorrow is the 4th of July, ladies and gentlemen. Don't blow your fingers off. Be safe. Don't do anything
don't put
dumb.
fireworks in your asshole and hold it so you
Yeah, don't do that.
don't
Do the right thing.
do
You gotta
the
do the
right
right
thing.
thing.
Be smart. Be smart. Don't get the fucking gun and throw all your fireworks in there and start shooting people because that's not safe.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Oh my god. Shit. Oh man. Well, this was a fun episode, my friend. I know
It's
Mr.
hilarious.
Canadian over here came in 5
Apologies.
minutes in and then now
Fuck
5
that,
minutes
everyone
late.
down on me,
So,
so.
You know, I'm live from San Antonio, man. I'm on my little mini vacation with the family, so I'm
nice.
glad I took some time out away from the fam in this little office space in my in-laws' house, so I could bring you guys a show. I heard we had a guest, and I was like, nah, man, I'm not missing. I
Fun,
want to
right?
talk to Bear again. It was fun, bro. I really needed it. Helped me kind of de-stress a little. Well,
Yeah.
I think a little beer helps, especially when you haven't drank in forever. But yeah,
No.
thanks for showing up. Thank you, everybody, for being here
Yes.
for our 250th episode. We've been at it for over 6 years now.
Bro, can
We've
you
gone
believe
through
that shit?
we've gone
6
through a
fucking
ton of
years,
different
dude.
different hosts and co-hosts, and me and Roberto show up every time, bro. Every time. And Mark's been there hanging by a
Mhm.
thread. But we appreciate you, Mark. We appreciate everybody who tunes in and
Yeah.
shows us support. Appreciate everybody
For
who,
sure.
who clicks on our sponsor links. Alp nicotine pouches. This is amazing stuff, man.
Mhm.
So don't forget to click on that QR code and buy some more.
Yeah, man. 250th. I mean, that's a huge milestone for us.
It is.
Who would have thought that we'd still be doing this 6 years in, bro? 6 years in, every Thursday night. Well, almost every Thursday night, but you know what? It's fun, dude. I love this shit. We
I
get to
know a
meet
lot of guys
we get to meet a lot of people, and it's just fun.
I've known a lot of people that try to start a podcast and they get like maybe 5, 6 episodes in, and then they just run out of things to say, or they don't know what to do anymore. You know what I mean? They feel
Yeah.
like they got to one up the last show and do better than the last show, and then
Mhm.
do some zany, wacky crap every time. And you know, we don't do that. We just come on here, we kick it, we talk about shit that we like, and I mean, we don't really care what haters say, man, because we've had some
Yeah.
haters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all right, man. You know, you can hate all you want, but the fact is, you're still watching, bitch.
Who's gonna hate?
You're still watching.
Still watching, bitch.
Hey, you know what? And it says a lot for Bears manager to reach out to me, 2 years later, saying, "Hey, could we have him on your show again? Because he loved you guys." So yeah, it's fun, man. We get to talk to a lot of cool people. Next week we have a badass guest, Bare Knuckle Fighter. He has a lot on his mind and a lot of things that he wants to get off his chest.
Who fucking cares?
What?
What,
Mark?
Mark?
What's wrong with you,
Yeah,
Mark?
Mark? What the hell?
Somebody get this
I didn't
bitch
say
out of the
shit. Kiss
building!
my ass.
God, get him out of here. Somebody get him out of here now.
I may be blind, but I'm not that dumb.
Shut the
Oh
fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Fuck off.
Oh, shit.
You're so
Yeah.
dumb.
We
You are
got- we
really
have a-
dumb. For
We
real.
have a badass guest, so I can't wait for that, man. It's going to be fun with this dude as well. So shout out to Bear. Thank you so much, brother, for jumping on again, man. Being an awesome guest like always. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that's watching and or listening. Really do appreciate your support. Go to fightbookmma.com for all your combat sport news from around the world. We are pumping out content every single day. It's fucking crazy the amount of content that we're pushing. Not only me, but all the other people that are, contributing to the website and publishing their own stuff. So it's just amazing. Yeah, enjoy the fights this weekend. Not a lot of fights, but just enjoy them. There's still going to be some fights. Enjoy tomorrow. Be safe. We love you guys. 250 in the books. Have a good night. We will see you next Thursday.
Get it how you live it. 10 toes
Peace.
in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper. Underground method.